What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition, the season opener edition of Fly Like an Eagle podcast, 2020 Philadelphia Eagles preview as we head into the season. I'm here with Zach Harris to my right, Trevor Harris to my south, and
bottom.
myself, here to talk some Eagles football without any fans this year. Gentlemen, how are you doing tonight?
I'll let you lead off, Trevor. I always lead off.
I'm fresh off of a work shift, and I'm doing fine, actually. It's not – I still have power. It's rainy, but long weekend ahead of us, and that means one thing out as well. Football's coming, and my bank account's not going to be happy.
Now, that's funny because you said you're pretty much saying you're going to gamble your bank account when it comes to football, and this is what I'm saying when it comes to it. Do you think the games are going to be dictated more with not having the fans in the crowd, like the score-wise, like the over-unders? Because that's one thing I have to look into because I used to bet football religiously. Now I'm kind of looking into it, and I'm like, the fans really dictate the game. So I have to figure out how to, like, adjust to that, but it shouldn't be that hard. I'm just trying to figure
It's going to be interesting. I think week one's going to be interesting. I think the first couple weeks are going to be like preseason games, personally.
Yeah.
Because there's no tune-up games. It's like you know, like colleges, you get your Bowling Green State or your like tier one, like who's high enough, like Alabama, like D1 or low D1 college school.
Right.
Listen, they played Duke, FSU, and USC the last couple of years.
Hey, let me explain another thing. You gotta have a tune-up game. We don't have 4 games, so I usually know when football's going, and it usually falls into Hard Knocks. Now I know, like, when does football start? And I was like, oh, it starts next week. So
yeah, 100%. By the way, if you guys are not following us on Twitter, are you under a rock? Just kidding. Go follow us at Eagle_pod. It is our official Twitter page. We have about 245 followers right now. That'll grow tremendously throughout the season. We'll be more interactive on there. We just have to figure out someone to run the page. Yep. But we'll figure that out down the road. But yeah, follow us at Eagle_pod for your daily Twitter non-political arguments, all right, because I hate Twitter because of that. So, yep, go follow us there. And, yeah, we have some actually breaking news. We are going to be on Spotify, and we're trying to get on iTunes. So for you, for those of you who can't watch on YouTube or Facebook, you'll have the luxury of listening on your headphones on Spotify. So that's going to be right after this episode. We're going to upload it, and then you could hear us from here on out. Zach, I am going to ask you this first. All right, because we have a lot to talk about when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. We all know the left tackle situation sucks. It's one of the worst situations in football right now because you have on one side Andre Dillard, who was supposed to be our future at left tackle. He gets hurt. You pay Jason Peters to play right tackle, a position that he's probably never played before, and you want him to whatever. You want him to go back to left tackle to solidify his role, and he's like, "Well, I'm not playing it because I'm not getting paid enough." So you're in that situation. So right now you're looking at Jordan Mailata, who is a rugby player who has he ever played left tackle in his life? Like, I don't understand what's going on with this football team. Does Doug Peterson and the Philadelphia Eagles just hate Carson Wentz that much that they just don't want to protect the guy? Do they just want to rush into Jalen Hurts and the Jalen Hurts future? I just want to hear you guys' take on this.
Okay, so since you said you'll start with me, I guess I'll tackle this big question because going into the season, obviously this is the biggest question mark outside of Carson Wentz's soft tissue injury. For me, you know, obviously the easy answer would be able to switch Jason Peters to the left side, but that we're not going to do that. That's not going to happen. That's not realistic. We signed him to be a right guard. We're not going to pay him to be a left tackle. Will it hurt us in the season? Possibly. But for me, we need to start the youth movement. Unfortunately, it's going to come on Carson Wentz's dime. Hopefully he can stay healthy. I'm looking at Matt Pryor. I talked about it with you guys off of air with possibly doing it by a committee. I've never seen left tackle by committee, so that would be a little unique. But, you know, remember Dallas Goedert's a great blocking tight end. We still have Zach Ertz, so we do a lot of 12 personnel. You can get him chipping. You know, unfortunately, we're going to have to live and die with the left tackle situation and see maybe if somebody gets cut that we're not expecting to get cut and sign them in right before the season. Let's see where it takes us. But honestly, you know, one of these young guys are going to start at left tackle, and we're going to kind of roll with it because we need to get this youth movement started, especially among the offensive line.
Yeah, they're going to get Carson Wentz killed is what they're going to do. And, you know, it's going to be a bloodbath. They're going to dig his own grave, and, you know, he's going to be dented into the ground one of these games, and it's not going to be pretty. I just feel like they're setting him up to fail. That's the sense I'm getting right now, because they obviously, when you picked Jalen Hurts in the second round, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And obviously you're clearly seeing what the fuck they're doing, because they're literally giving Carson Wentz an ultimatum. Listen, you either play for a team with no line, or we're going to hand it over to Jalen Hurts and we're going to give him everything he wants. So that's just how I see it. And I don't, it just sucks. You know, I'm the biggest pessimist when it comes to Carson Wentz. Everyone knows this, even on wearing his jersey. I'm the biggest pessimist when it comes to him. And even I think they're being unfair to him. And that's just, it's a low blow. It's a complete low blow.
Would you go ahead and pay Jason Peters to switch to left tackle?
Oh yeah, 100%. But they're not going to do that because it would benefit Carson Wentz.
All right, I'm going to be the little bit of voice of reason. The left tackle position is not the worst thing that's going on in football. You could be in Chicago and deal with either with Trubisky or Nick Foles. Would you rather deal with a quarterback composition or deal with a left tackle position? Zach, what do you think? What would you rather deal with? Would you rather try and figure out who wants to be your starting quarterback or left tackle?
After dealing with the Nick Foles, Carson Wentz ordeal, I'm kind of done with the quarterback competition. I'd rather have a left tackle competition. Like I said, we need to start the youth movement, and unfortunately it comes year after year after year of Carson Wentz getting injured. But we have to do it. We have to move on. We got to start it.
I'm not saying throw in Jason Peters. I don't want to see that. I'm good with that. I would rather go with two people. Jack Driscoll out of Auburn, who's from Connecticut.
I love that kid. Yep.
From Auburn. He could play. He's been on both sides of the line, which is very, very huge, which is great to have in the NFL. You can play both.
Are you serious? Sorry, the Toronto Raptors just hit the game-winning 3.
Who cares about basketball? or you go with Prince Tega Wanhugo. You have two choices right there. I rather go. With him.
I am very shocked that he has not been more in the mix, because reading everything that I've read about this kid, he's athletic. He's a former basketball player. He had the tight end physique that Jason Peters had when he was in Buffalo as an undrafted free agent. Everything that I've read has basically followed the same storyline that you have with Jason Peters. He's very athletic. He's still new to the game. He's still kind of learning the game, but he's got the footwork. He just needs to work on the technique a little bit.
I personally think I don't want to see Mailata with a 10-foot pole at the left tackle position at all. I'd rather see Jack Driscoll play, personally. That's just personally me, who could play the offensive line, who knows who could play left tackle. And plus, he played in the SEC. That's pretty much the NFL AAA. So I am like, throw Driscoll in there, throw him in there. I think he could do a well of a job. And plus, he could possibly be the true future at left tackle, since Andre Dillard stinks, and I could smell all the way up in Connecticut right now.
He's the worst. I'm actually kind of glad he's gone. Now, I'm not glad that nobody's protecting Carson Wentz, but Andre Dillard was literally the worst fucking player coming out of the Pac. Well, he wasn't the worst player coming out of the Pac-12. Let me fix my choice of words on that one. All right, I didn't want a Pac-12 player that early, especially on the offensive line, because there's no defense in the Pac-12. All right, there's no pressure. You're trading up for valuable assets, a player that the Houston Texans wanted, and they actually had to settle for some guy in South Alabama or whatever it was, and they wanted Andre Dillard. I have no idea why, but Andre Dillard, I knew he was going to be a bust. I knew it. Like, you could just tell, and he's not going to – I don't think he's going to play another down for us, honestly. I really don't. I think we're going to move on from him.
Me personally, I was never a fan of the pick. I looked at it as like, I've never seen this guy at all. Like, this is who they took it. Offensive tackle Titus Howard. That's who they chose at Houston.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted instead of we traded up. Me personally, I didn't like Andre Dillard pick from the first. I didn't like the first 2 picks of last year's draft, including. I know, like, I'm like whatever of this year's draft, but I hated last year's first 2 picks because they both stink.
Right. Now, I'm trying to make sense of this comment. Move on from Foles. Hurts is there for a reason. I think he's talking about Wentz. Hurts is there for a reason, just like Wentz got paid for a reason. See how it goes. This team is built. We still have a shit secondary from last year that Not One Eagles outlet has really talked about. We need an overall team, and these key parts are being put into place accordingly. Now, I will say this. Everyone and their mother knows that our defense really isn't that good. I mean, you could say that our pressure is good, but I think it's pretty old, to be honest with you. And you're relying too much on your pressure pressure because our linebacking core sucks. Our linebacking core doesn't have one quality professional starter, and Nate Gary's not a professional linebacker. So you can pretty much dismiss that linebacking core immediately. Now you have your secondary. You have Jalen Mills, who's a project safety. You have Darius Slay, who was vastly overpaid, but we needed to do it. You have Sidney Jones, who just keeps getting injured. He's probably gone. You have Maddox, who I liked for a little while, but it looks like he turned into a bust. And, yeah, can you guys help me out here? Because I don't know what to do when it comes to this defense. I feel like we're going to let up a shitload of points, and it's really going to bother me.
Here's my thing. I like the Darius Slay trade because, one, Detroit's the worst place to play in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you guys know this. You have to pay like a union fee if you play for the Detroit Lions. When you play your Lions, you got to pay a city of Detroit a union fee. Did you guys not know that?
Mm-mm.
That's why nobody wants to go to Detroit to play or be a free agent. You have to pay a union fee, and the taxes in Michigan stink anyways. So
or because they're treated like a child over there.
Yeah.
Depends who your head coach we're talking about. We're talking about Jim Schwartz, talking Jim Caldwell, who was an actual adult.
I like Jim Caldwell. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten another chance in the NFL.
I just feel really bad for Jim Schwartz this year. He's going to let up a lot of points. People are going to be like, oh, this guy sucks. We shouldn't have brought him back. And it's not going to be his fault at all. Like our defense.
I actually like this defense. I like this defense. I'll tell you why.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you like this defense, Zach? Why?
Who do you like?
What?
Who do you like in this? Who do you like? I hate the whole linebacking core. I think they stink.
There is no linebacking core.
Well, they all are. They're all hybrid safeties. That's why.
Okay, let me explain before you guys overreact.
I'm not overreacting.
This defensive line, as you all know, is one that can get pressure but never finishes off. We never get the sack. We never get that game-changing sack, the forced fumble, the strip sack, whatever. That's also because we never had that corner that can lock down for more than 2 seconds. And guys were getting open down the field left and right very easily. You take a team where the cornerback position has been mildly average, and you add an all-pro corner on one side, kind of like if you take a look at what Stephon Gilmore did for the Buffalo Bills and then did for the New England Patriots, and I'm not saying he's going to have that type of impact, but he could have an impact similar to that, where you basically lock up one side of the field. And Avonte Maddox, yes, he's been injured. Yes, he's been inconsistent, but that's going to be our second guy. Our slot corner is definitely locked down with Nickel Roby-Coleman, who is one of the best in the biz. So right there, our safety/secondary isn't as bad as you think. Obviously, we got a lot of depth. Will Parks being injured, but we got Kevon Wallace, who's a project. We also have Jalen Mills, who, don't forget, he's played safety in college, and he's played safety in the NFL for a game or two. He knows the transition. He's a great leader, which is one of the great things about being a safety, is he's a great leader. And don't forget that we also have a veteran safety back there as well that's been on our team for quite a few years. So this team is not as bad defensively as you think. As for the linebacker core, we have a lot of athletic guys. Will that translate to a lot of tackles? I'm not quite sure about that, but I'm telling you, these guys are athletic. They're going to be able to run 53 yards from sideline to sideline. They're going to be able to get after people. Is it going to make a difference? Probably not, because what it really relies on is that front defensive line getting pressure and getting after the quarterback, and the secondary being able to hold on to their position for longer than 1 second. But this defensive line, or this linebacking core, is underrated to you guys. I wouldn't say overrated, but underrated to you guys, to the point where they're better than you guys think. Just because they don't have necessarily the experience, they definitely have the talent to do enough in Jim Schwartz's defense, a defense that doesn't rely overly on linebacker play.
Underrated? I think they suck. I didn't say anything about underrated. I think they're horrible.
No, I said they're underrated compared to what you guys think.
That's a big word comparing it to what we think. We think they suck.
Here's my thing. You have Nickel Roby-Coleman, who's been in the Jim Schwartz defense up in Buffalo from 2013 to 2016.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys Kyle, did you remember that at all? He was in Buffalo as well. So Jim Schwartz always finds like someone who played in his like defensive system, especially like whoever played in Buffalo with him from like
Right.
2014 and now's really it.
Mhm.
So I just don't see much out of this defense. I think it's gonna be the secondary looks interesting. You have a lockdown corner, which we haven't had in forever. And
Years.
whenever we paid for one, they stink. Kerry Williams, Nnamdi Asomugha, need I say no more?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sorry. I said those two horrible names.
Kerry Williams. Oh my God, I can't get it out of my head.
Have an Advil, my brother. So, and it's mostly my thing with the linebackers. They got these the hybrid type safeties and
Mhm.
linebackers. I personally think they don't work in the NFL because
Mark Barron.
besides that, like if I was asking for Mark Barron to come in 2018 when we had nobody in the secondary, but hey,
Jamal Adams, Minka Fitzpatrick type player. All these hybrids of safety / linebackers, they do work. But we're talking about a linebacker core that has very little experience. That's the only concern I have, is the very little experience. The Jim Schwartz linebacker core has never been asked to do much. You have to cover a tight end and you have to cover the ground when a running back breaks through. We've been in an elite rushing defense the past couple of years, so I'm not really as concerned as you guys are.
Okay.
I'm not. I just don't like who we have to play, like quarterback wise, and like late into the season. Have you seen the schedule?
Yeah.
Do we?
And Zach brought up the point a little bit like 5 minutes ago. Zach brought up the point that if our pressure doesn't get to the quarterback, we could pretty much go downhill, because that's how our defense is pretty much set up to do. You have to get to the quarterback because you're relying on all the pressure up front. Well, it hadn't done that a lot last year, and you saw it against the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins completely ass raped us on points with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and they're a horrible team. So, I mean, how far does it go? Every single year, it's about defensive line, defensive line, defensive line. When are they ever going to invest into a linebacker? When?
They'll never do it unless they draft one, which I don't think this kid from
They'll never
Colorado,
do that.
I don't see the kid from Colorado being anything special.
You don't like Davion Taylor?
No, I'm not a big fan. Did you not hear me? I did not like the second round pick and the third round pick of this year's draft. I think you could have done better. You reached a few spots. So
how can I invest my time into watching Davion Taylor flourish when I don't like the GM that picked him? Everything the GM touches turns to trash. All right? You're looking at the one draft class that had from top to bottom 1 through 7 rounds, the best running back class in probably the whole NFL history, and he picks the one bust out of all the running backs, Donnell Pumphrey. All right? So everything this guy touches turns to mush. He is a mush. He sucks. So every single player that he picks, I don't have faith in. That's why he picked Jalen Hurts. I told you, Zach, before our show one day, I thought Jalen Hurts was such a bad NFL prospect that I could have saw him going undrafted, and we picked him in the second round. I was like, what is he doing? Like, seriously,
okay,
this
but
guy has no clue
GMs
about
had
the
him
sport of
rated
football.
2 and 3rd. GMs had him ranked somewhere
I didn't
between
see it.
2nd and 4th round. So
I didn't see it.
as far as the linebacker core, going back to the linebacker core, what do I have to say to convince you guys? The secondary is the issue of concern over the last few years. The linebacker core is not asked to do much but to take up space. For most part, you're probably going to see a 2 linebacker system, maybe even a 3 linebacker system. You're going to see Jalen Mills come up more. You're going to see Will Parks get up in there towards the line. You're not going to have to worry about the linebackers as much as you do. The only problem that I have with the linebacking core is when the tight ends are elite tight ends, how are we going to cover them? Are we going to use a safety? Are we going to use one of these athletic linebackers? Can they keep up? Are they going to be able to run routes with these tight ends? This is the concern that I have. Other than that, in a Jim Schwartz defense, you do not rely that much on linebackers. That's why they haven't valued linebackers.
Well, you're gonna find out real quick how we match up against the tight ends, because we have George Kittle coming week 3. So, I mean, hey, listen, you're the kind of see and wait type of guy. I understand that, but I see it from the from into the future. That's how I see it. And it's not going to be a good future if what our defense looks like on paper matches up against George Kittle, probably the best blocking tight end in the whole National Football League.
Best tight end in the National Football League. Tight end.
Probably best tight end. I mean, Travis Kelce. I mean, you have to give it to him a little.
1, 2, 2, 1, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, 1, 2, 2, 1. Yeah, I guess. But all I know is that it's not going to be pretty right now. Like I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong. I've been wrong before. In 2017, I thought we were probably going to go to the divisional round and lose. We won the Super Bowl, so I was wrong.
Okay, I got to ask you guys a question. Over the full 16-game season, not game here, game there, game there. Mm-hmm. What do you project this defense to rank? Top 10, top 15, top 20, top 25?
Bottom 20. Right now, bottom 20. I have to. Fletcher Cox.
Okay, but what does bottom 20 mean? Between 10 and 15? 15, 20?
No, bottom 20.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm giving you number 20 or number 22. You can pick those two.
All right, I'll make it easy. I'll go 23. All right? That's what I'll go. I'll go 23. Fletcher Cox had 3 sacks last year. All right? He had 3. He's our best. He's like our captain on our defense. He had 3 sacks last year. How many times do I have to say it? 3.
He was injured. Right? He was injured.
3.
All season. Injured.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I was sure about that. Coming off a foot injury, you've seen how slow he was getting off that line from game 1. I will bet you guys anything. This is a top 15 defense.
All right. Well, I'm not going to bet.
Think of what you want to bet. I will bet you guys this is a top 15 defense.
How about a chugging contest, buddy? We'll do it.
We already have a chugging contest on the line. You want to tell the people?
Hey, I mean, you want to tell them because you remember. I don't. So you tell them what it is.
Back when Kyle was on vacation drinking, I don't know, what was it? What do you like to drink? Mai Tais. Yeah. We made a bet that Jalen Reagor, whether he was going to be an Pro Bowl type wide receiver year 1 or not. So if he's a Pro Bowl wide receiver, I have to chuck a 40 of his choice.
Okay.
If I do he's not a Pro Bowl wide receiver, I get to tell him what 40 he gets to chuck.
No. I do remember that wager because Jalen Reagor's my guy, so I'm a little bit biased. I think he's gonna have a Pro Bowl year as a rookie.
He's already fallen behind. I'll tell you that.
No, it's fine. I'll still chug it. Listen, I'm a man of my word, and if he's out for the full season, well, not the full season, but half a season, I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm gonna have to chug, and I like drinking, so it's okay. But I mean, at the end of the day, I believe. I believe in Jalen Reagor. That's my guy. That's who I wanted the Eagles to draft. They listened. They didn't trade up to get CeeDee Lamb, and they stood pat. They got Jalen Reagor. They got their guy. And he's going to ball out. He's going to absolutely ball out. And personally, hot take, I think he's the best wide receiver in the draft. So there you go.
We'll see. Obviously, he's out for 4 weeks, so I'm going to be a little far behind. So if you want to edit that, he better be reading the playbook. But he has a huge space in this offense. I don't think they're going to want to be playing Quez Watkins, 100 snaps a game or whatever the hell the case may be. So, Jalen Reagor is clearly going to be that guy. The way they use him depends on, do they want to use him where he's a weapon, Carson, get the ball in his hand and let him do what he needs to do? Or are they going to force him to do things that maybe are out of his comfort zone? If you can get him in the middle of the field, if you can get him on the wide receiver screen, if you can get him on the end around, this guy is a playmaker. If you see him at TCU, outside of his horrible quarterback play that has come his way, he has been a playmaker from day one. We need to put the ball in playmakers' hands and let them do work, meaning Dallas Goedert, not Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Reagor, Deshaun Jackson. Put the ball in playmakers' hands. Miles Sanders, you let them do the work. Let them do the work. You take a look at Jimmy Garoppolo and what he did. He had the highest amount of passing yards that came for yards after catch in the NFL last year. Why can't Carson Wentz have that? We need to get the ball in playmakers' hands.
All right, and I'll tell you two reasons. Now, before I do that, I'm going to answer this question. Kyle, aren't you a Flyers fan? Yes, I'm a Flyers fan. I'm not watching the game because I'm nervous as shit, okay? So I'm doing the show while the Flyers game's on. Yes, I'm not paying attention, and if someone says go, it better be for the Flyers, because if it's not for the Flyers, I'll probably puke right here. So, I mean, just whatever. So if
We
it's
don't wanna
if
see that.
both of the Flyers, tell me if it's not.
I'm just
really-
watching my fantasy baseball players on this during this White Sox Royals game. So that's me right now.
Okay, so going back to Zach's point about the yards after catch wide receivers. Well, his favorite wide receiver, well, I'm going to call him a wide receiver, slow wide receiver. I'm not calling him a tight end because he's not a tight end. Zach Ertz is his favorite target to throw to. He's his first read. And Zach Ertz, let's just say that this guy averages 10 yards per play, which is a first down. I'll give you that. It's a first down every single time. But the problem is when you zone in on your first read over and over and over again and you rely on him to catch the ball, he's not going to break out for big plays because he gets no yards after the catch. All right. Now, Deshaun Jackson, if you turn him into your favorite target, you'll be an explosive offense. But for some reason, dumb fuck brainiac Carson Wentz makes sure that he throws it to Zach Ertz every single play because it's his buddy, and we go nowhere. So he needs to change things up. And honestly, if I had my way, I was telling Zomp, just shout out to Zomp, I was telling Zomp in a group chat, I was like, I would actually literally trade Zach Ertz for value just to get him off the fucking team so Carson Wentz could flourish. So that's just my thoughts. I know people like Zach Ertz. I just don't have this thing from him. I'm sorry. I just think he plays like a pussy. But
Want to know what he's doing? He's Carson Wentz is helping out all the Zach Ertz fantasy football owners. That's why he's getting all these points, and he's killing
10
me.
10 yards to catch. Yay! First down Eagles by a yard.
Can you help Noah Font for me? Because that's who I drafted.
Yeah, I didn't do my fantasy draft yet.
Don't even get me started. I'm the commissioner. It's a shit show. I don't even want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Don't even want to do
You're
it
a
anymore.
pussy. I love doing it. I love being the commissioner.
I hate it because then I got to make the big decisions and kick people out. And bring people in.
I don't like to consider myself Roger Goodell. I consider myself more like Paul Tagliabue.
Okay.
I sometimes I throw the iron fist. Like for example, I kicked out 2 people in my league. One, because one's an idiot, and 2, he told me I can't do it. Like I respect that. So
yeah. And Zomp just texted me. He's like, "How the hell are you doing a podcast with the Flyers game on?" I don't want to pay attention, Zomp.
Hey Zomp, Zomp, why don't you get your butt on the camera right now?
Yeah, I know. Come on, Zomp. Let's go.
And
Sabbatical's over.
Apparently, it's another overtime game, so that'll really put me on edge. But yeah, we had a question in the comment section. Projection for the year: 11-5 or 12-4. Also, what do you think it's going to be if they go half the season or a whole season without fans? I got to go up because it just turned on me. Fans. A lot of owners are going to come up and play with plans to have fans attend. No fans will be making a huge fucking difference. I don't care. You're going to hear things on the field you've never heard without fans. Yeah, and that's the problem. You know, some stadiums are going to have fans, some stadiums aren't going to have fans, which I think is a horrible idea because it's a disadvantage. Because now you have to have fans in the NFL for the game to succeed. You have to. Because the false starts, the penalties, the fans are so noisy that they contribute to all of this. You know,
and they help out the gambling lanes a lot too.
Yeah, they help out the gambling lines a lot. So I mean, if you think that having no fans in the crowd is going to dictate these games, is not going to dictate these games, you are full of shit.
I'll tell you one thing. Like that Tampa Bay New Orleans game, week 1 in Superdome, that's like going to be a fucking gymnasium.
Yeah.
Now I know you guys are NBA fans, and obviously they're playing at a location where everybody isn't home. But you take a look at the difference in those games. You have the Rockets going a 7-game series with OKC Thunder, which wouldn't happen if there was home games and there was fans in the stands. The way that the NBA games are going, and I know a lot of people are boycotting the NBA, but it's hit or miss. You got blowouts, you got close games, you got teams that shouldn't be winning, blowing out the other team. It's really unpredictable. You already have the Celtics, well, now on to a 2-1 lead, but they were on their way to a 3-0 lead over the Raptors. You know, it's just insanely unpredictable, and that's how I'm going to see this NFL. Like, yeah, you have the home field advantage. You know who that really helps? The Pittsburgh Steelers is the only team that comes to mind because it's harder to kick in the Pittsburgh Steelers Heinz Field than anywhere else. But how many times is the game going to come down to a field goal here, field goal there? I'm telling you, it's going to be wildly unpredictable.
All right, first off, you're wrong. The team that has no fans at all is the Los Angeles Chargers. So they'll be fine anyways. And the Jacksonville Jaguars. Think about it, Zach. You got to do the next level thinking. The Chargers and the Jaguars, they'll be fine. But the Jaguars are tanking for Trevor, but not me.
Yeah.
The Jaguars are going to be fine because they're not trying to win any games.
Plus, they have no fans anyway, so they are good, including the Chargers.
Well, what do you think when every New Yorker moves down to Florida? Who the fuck's going to be their fans? Come on.
The kids that are born down there. That's why.
Did you hear that the Philadelphia Eagles are doing the ultimate slap to the face to their season ticket holders? They're doing a $100 cardboard cutout, and you could be at the game. While they pretty much gave them an option to like not pay for their season tickets, but you have to pay them $100, saying, "Oh, I want to be at the game anyway." It's like the biggest slap in the face.
Isn't baseball doing that? Like, don't they have like the cheapest one that you can do like maybe
like
$20
$80 or $60 or something?
Yeah,
I don't remember what
Jeffrey
it was.
Lurie, I don't like to criticize you that much, but you get this like, what are you, Dan Snyder now? Try and get all of our money.
And I think it also goes to charity. So are they doing it for charity? Are the Eagles doing it for charity? Because a lot of the Major League Baseball teams are actually donating the money to charity.
Probably not. They're probably stuffing their fat pockets. By the way, we are halfway through this episode. It is 30 minutes, 50 seconds in. Zach, why don't you get out our hotline? Because, yes, we do accept calls during these shows, and we are one of the only podcasts on the face of the earth. Well, not the face of the earth, but we're one of the only Eagles podcasts around that actually gets really interactive with our fans. So if you want to call in on a topic, then you can say whatever you want, and we're unfiltered. So,
All right. So, obviously, we love when our fans get involved. We pop up some comments here and there from fans and try to do our best to combat those questions. But if you want to call into the show, this is the very first show that we're doing this, and we're looking to do this from here on out. The number's 518-539-4911, 518-539-4911. We'll take your call live right now. So if you want to call into the show, ask a question, especially for Trevor, who's all hopped up on something. I don't know, coming at me sideways. So,
we're gonna
Mountain Dew.
We're gonna rack your calls at 518-539.
Sorry, that's my hometown area code. So we went with the 518. I apologize, guys.
Trevor,
I gotta make fun of it. I gotta sound like Joe to camera.
You want to hear something disgusting, Trevor? This is very off topic. I was looking on the shots on goal for the Flyers in Islanders game.
I haven't watched 3 games. I've been trying to see.
The Islanders have 42 shots on net. We have 17. It's disgusting. It's so disgusting.
Welcome to 90s hockey in the year 2020.
I'm so glad I'm not watching it. Carter.
Hey, Kyle, can you throw that number down on the stream?
Yeah, sure. What's the number again?
518-539. There you go.
4911.
Yep. Taking your 911 calls.
We're gonna rack your calls.
All right, cool. I put it down there.
There we go.
That's the number. So I mean, if you want to come on the station, there are 2 rules. Okay, you can't be racist. That's fucked up. We don't accept it. And number two, like I said, you could curse, but don't get too sexual because Trevor might get an uprising. So I mean, you just got to keep it clean.
12 to midnight.
Yeah, exactly. Just got to keep it clean. Well, not clean. You can say whatever the fuck you want. Just those 2 things we just basically say.
Within reason, okay, guys.
And 3, if I hear politics, I'm just gonna.
I'll cut you off if we hear politics. I'll cut you off. I don't care if it's human rights, politics. We're talking sports here. Yeah, we need a breather from it.
Yeah, we talked politics last week. That was acceptable because it was going on. But yeah, we're not doing politics. So there you go. With that being said, we're gonna move on to our next topic. I gotta read.
We can do a sex hotline number if you want.
All right. Left. So, what is our wide receiver? Okay. So we're gonna talk about our wide receiver group. All right, because I don't think we stressed on it enough with Zach Ertz being Carson Wentz's number 1, pretty much. All right, we have Deshaun Jackson, Jalen Reagor, Alshon Jeffrey, all gonna be playing on the same field come mid-October at one point.
I'll give you November for Alshon.
Probably November. Well, they said Alshon might actually be coming back next month. So
I don't want him anywhere near the team. He you can throw him on the IR.
You think he starts on pub?
Dude, Alshon Jeffrey is my dude.
He made that incredible catch in the Super Bowl.
How you want to throw Josina Anderson? If the offense hates him, he ain't getting no ball.
Yeah, fuck Josina Anderson.
Here we go.
I gave you guys the depth chart anyway, so
All right, you're on Fly Like an Eagle podcast. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Great.
What's up, Sharif?
Can't hear. Yeah. Can't hear. Oh, Zach. We were so close.
Zach,
All right, so
throw that thing on speaker. That's what you got to do so we can hear
all
it.
right, so Sharif wants to tell you guys you're sleeping on Carson Wentz because he has no receivers. Sharif, thanks for the call. So yeah, that's his thing. He says we're sleeping on Carson Wentz because he had no receivers last year. So you give him a break because we're going in this year with some talent at wide receiver. I wouldn't say much talent because a lot of these guys have no experience, but that's
all right. Is he part of the Wentz society?
I should have asked him.
That's my question. If he's
We're
part
not
of
making
that,
fun of him either. We're not.
I just want to know because
Yeah.
this is me. I need some honest takes on that. I don't want no Homer pom pom take. We gotta criticize a dude. If he stinks a game. If he sucks during the game. If he does well, we'll give him his props. We gotta treat him like Donovan McNabb. That's what we gotta do. He needs some tough love.
Yeah, and you have to understand something. Nobody's sleeping on Carson Wentz because he's the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, nobody's sleeping on Carson Wentz.
The only people that are sleeping right now are Chicago Bear fans. Who's the quarterback going to be, and they have not made a decision yet. That's been entertainment radio.
Yeah. But that was it. Listen, I know you couldn't hear you, Sharif, but you're our first caller ever on the Fly Like an Eagle podcast, technically, and we want more of you to call in. And guess what? Next time when you guys call in, Zach will put it on speakerphone, put it right up to his microphone, old-ass microphone that he has right next to his head, and we will be able to hear you, hopefully.
24 karat magic right here, buddy.
There you go. It's real gold. I bet you guys didn't know that.
Yes.
but yeah,
all right,
I mean,
here, we got another call. I'll put on speaker for you guys. All right.
Okay. We got a call. We got another call.
Fly Like an Eagle podcast. You're on.
I can't hear shit. Oh man. It's all right. You know, by the way, I have to say, Spunky, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. This helps out our brand so much, and I really appreciate that. $10, you did not have to do that. Donation to the channel, and we'll put every little proceed towards making our podcast bigger and better for you guys to enjoy. You know, like I said, we make it interactive for you guys. You guys could call in. Obviously, we're having some technical issues. I don't know if that was because the caller hung up or if Zach couldn't get it going, but we'll get it figured out before the season starts. But thank you so much for the $10 super chat, Spunky. You are the best, and go Birds. Haley Marie has a question: which receiver will lead the Eagles in total yards? Jalen Reagor. I think it's gonna be Jalen Reagor
for the whole season, or just for are we just saying full season? Who's gonna be there the full season? So Reagor is gonna miss at least
2 weeks.
2 weeks, so he's missing the Redskins game, the Rams game, and probably be back by the Bungle game, which is Bengals.
All right, guys, you want to try another phone call?
All right, let's do it.
All right, if you want to call in, 518-539-4911. I disconnected it from the board, so I'll go straight to my phone. We'll go straight to speaker. You'll get you on right here, the gold microphone, 24 karat magic.
Sweet. All right, we got that back out there. So if you guys want to call in, do so. And yeah, until then, we are going to talk about more Eagles wide receivers. So, Zach Harris, who do you think?
All right, we got a call here. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Blake from.
All right, Blake, what can we do for you?
Blake.
I just have like a two-part question. First part is, what do you guys think about Jalen saying that he wants to go for his
All right, man. Thanks for the call. We'll take that off the air. All right, go ahead, guys. I'll let you start it out.
What did he say anyway?
I would love to, but I couldn't hear a word he said.
Really? What is wrong with you guys?
I don't know. Maybe tone deaf. I have no idea.
He basically said Jalen Mills wants to take over the leadership of this defense. Do you think he's going to be able to? And if he can't take over the leadership of this defense, who is going to step up and be the leader of this team?
That's actually that's very great question. All right,
Great question.
do
Finally,
I-
some intelligence around here.
do I think Jalen Mills can take over the leadership role that Malcolm Jenkins had last year? Jalen Mills, he's a project, so he honestly has to rely on his position first. But once he has that spot solidified, I think he can. I mean, I think he can. He learned a lot from Malcolm Jenkins, so I think he could take over that leadership spot. Why not? He's basically the captain of the defense now because Fletcher Cox is getting old as shit, and he had 3 sacks last year. So you need someone to stand up. So yeah, I do think that Jalen Mills can take over the leadership spot. I do. I just want to see him play safety up to a professional caliber level, and that's the one thing I want to see first. But that was a great question, bro.
I would say he should be the leader of the secondary. I think he needs to be the leader of secondary first. Your linebacker committee leader is pretty much, I will say, Nate Gary. And your defensive line, I will say, between Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. So that's my personal opinion. The leader of the defense, nah, not yet. Ask that in 2 to 3 more years.
Yeah.
If he's still here. Though he's been here the longest. He's been here since 2016 when we were hot garbage still. So,
yeah. What do you guys think about the Cowboys releasing Clinton Dix? I was shocked by that. I saw that, and I'm like, why would they be releasing safety this close to the season? And I don't understand that move. Maybe they're trying to make a cat move or something, but I don't really get that one. But someone asked me earlier, what do I think the Cowboys are going to do this year? I think they're going to be 8-8, 9-7. I don't think they're going to be a great team whatsoever, and that's why I think the division's up in the air right now, because there's not that one team that sticks out to me saying they're going to win. Like, there's just not that one team. So
I got a question for you for the Cowboy fans. Why should I be impressed? Because we want to know what's going to happen. Remember the last couple games of the year, what we did, like what the Bears did to the Bills and the Eagles did to Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
They made him throw the ball and he just looked awful. Why don't you guys? Why doesn't everyone just saw the film? That's what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball. They're going to stack the box. So I see it was his Dak's contract year, right? I think he's going to crumble. I'll be entertained what he could do. I think Dalton may get thrown in this year, possibly. Just try to save the season.
Yeah, the thing about Dak Prescott is, he's not great, but he's not bad either. He's just right in the middle, and he wants to get paid great elite money. And
he ain't elite money.
No, and he's not that type of quarterback. But the thing is who do the Dallas Cowboys have to replace him right now? They have nobody, so they might have to pay him that contract. It's just are you going to move up in the draft to get Trevor Lawrence, or are you going to sell all your assets, to go get him? Do you have a plan? Because I don't think they have a plan, and I love it. But
I think Trevor Lawrence will either go to 3 places. Unfortunately, Jacksonville, which I don't want to see him go to, because I think he'll be set up to fail there. And that's a double-A team right now. If he goes there, it's a high triple-A, like a triple-A team. Carolina, I don't trust. I think Teddy Bridgewater is a bridge quarterback because what they have, the quarterback of Wilger, he stinks. That's why. And I could see if the Bears stink, they could probably move up their assets. Whoever the GM is, if the GM gets fired there, Ryan Pace gets fired, I could see the Bears making a move and try to go up for Trevor Lawrence because they haven't had a true quarterback since Jim McMahon.
No. Yeah. Zach, you want to touch on that? The Cowboys this year?
All right. I think the Cowboys are basically backed into a situation where you either pay Dak or you look at your other options. And right now there aren't many other options, like you guys talked about, possibly moving in the draft to get a Trevor Lawrence. But honestly, how realistic is that to win going forward? You have a guy like Ezekiel Elliott who's going to get older and older. You need a quarterback that can compete right now. And as far as Dak Prescott, you have the pieces around him. Honestly, I think he's above mediocre. I don't think he's a great quarterback. A great quarterback, in my eyes, will make the players around him better. And we've seen that not happen with Michael Gallup, not happen with Amari Cooper. Can he make that happen under Mike McCarthy? That is yet to be seen. But this team is based on that defense progressing and also Ezekiel Elliott getting the ball in his hands, because we know this is Ezekiel Elliott's team. And a lot of teams that you look at are a quarterback-driven team, except for this. Cowboys fans have got to realize it. This is Ezekiel Elliott's team manned by Dak Prescott.
Yeah, when he's not getting suspended.
Yeah.
I just personally don't think, like, what's his face, Dak. I don't think Dak's worth the money, and like I know someone's going to overpay for them. I just don't. He's a good quarterback. He's known how to stay healthy, which is the biggest key in this division. Since Carson Wentz, he's been known to miss games.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the weather. If it's hot out, it's hot out. It's like if the ground is wet, it rained. It's pretty straight and simple there.
Or wait, it's humid as hell. I mean, it could be humid and the ground could be wet.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Basically, you take a look at this team. When they have a great running back, when Ezekiel Elliott's going off, this is a better Cowboys team. When he's going under 100 yards and they're leaning on Dak Prescott, they're not coming through in the clutch, and that's the problem. He's not making anybody around him better. He's not going to lose you a game, but he also isn't winning you a game either.
Isn't also like you could say that for any Cowboy running back before Zeke? You could say about DeMarco Murray. You could say that. I know Bob, the Cowboy fan, may have a hard on for this. He may say this about Marion Barber, Felix Jones, Julius Jones.
Good old.
I was just watching a league episode with Felix Jones in it the other day.
Like, I feel like you could say that with any Cowboy running back who's just like, if you have a great offensive line, which they do, their running backs would be great. Once they leave, they stink. You can't find them. So, to me, like, they still live by like the 90s, pretty much. Like, you have to have a great running back, and like they find like decent quarterbacks. Like, they haven't had a great quarterback since Romo. So, and Prescott's not the thing. So, I think if you want to put him in tiers, like quarterback wise, I think he's asking for a lot of money. I don't want to pay him.
He's good. Dak Prescott's good. He's just
like, what team's going to pay for him?
He's not a game changer. You know, he's one of those players that throws for a lot of yards, a lot of them in garbage time, because the team's way out of it at times, or they're up by a million. And that's where the majority of his stats come from, that a lot of Cowboys fans like to dismiss. But like, if you're going to pay him, I mean, you might have to pay him what he's asking for, because you don't have any other options. Unless you're going to pay Andy Dalton, and you're not going to do that. So
no, that ain't happening.
No. So
Dalton playing in his hometown. He's good. He's good for life there.
It looks like Dak Prescott's going to outdo Mahomes' contract.
Yeah, okay. Lamar Jackson maybe, but not Dak Prescott.
If Lamar Jackson could develop his accuracy and have a rocket gun, then he's in Pat Mahomes.
Listen, people are not ready for that conversation, because they'll sit there and tell you last year he threw for like 70% completion percentage. But if you actually watch the games, he struggled throwing from within the pocket and with consistent accuracy other than the easy passes.
Wentz finished the season twice already. All right. Once his rookie year and last year, besides the playoffs.
So, Dak Ninja, are you going to change your name once Dak leaves the Cowboys? And other thing, if Dak wasn't on the Cowboys, would we be talking to him like this all like crazy? Let's be honest here. No.
Lay off the Mountain Dew, bud. You are on fire.
I'm being honest here. You want honesty?
I love it.
I mean, in 2016, Dak Prescott won Offensive Rookie of the Year. I thought it should have gone to Zeke, but that's for another day. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year, so obviously he looked great on that 13-3 team, but they also had a wall built in front of him. And then he kind of just fell off a little bit, but he looked great. But ever since then, Cowboys have been living off that 1 year, just like we're living off of Wentz's 1 year in 2017. So if you want to combine both of those players, I guess you could say they had one great year, and then after that, really nothing. But we got a question from Joe Shakes. Nitro, that's my name on YouTube. Matt Pryor, what do you think is going to happen? I think Matt Pryor is abysmal, so I don't think much is going to happen there.
Me on my roof, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. But
I'm pro on red zone too.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't. I mean, Matt Pryor to me is just, he's kind of there. I mean, you really need someone to block for Carson Wentz, because not having someone on his blind side that is at a professional level, it's not going to be good. And it's going to be pretty scary, actually. So all of you guys that support Wentz out there, like ride or die with Wentz, if you see him go down, I mean, you got to see it coming. because it's getting kind of scary. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, talking. There's a lot of comments in the comment section talking to Cowboys fans. Lamar Jackson fucking sucks. I mean, I wouldn't say he sucks. He won the MVP.
Yeah. Unanimously, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and he won the Heisman Trophy in college. So
yeah, but the Heisman doesn't mean anything.
No,
that's like, like what's how do I name it?
Jalen Hurts was second in Heisman voting. Let's see how that works.
It's like you're like the homecoming king, but we don't give a fuck about that anymore.
Exactly. High school's over, guys. Your time's over. It's time to get to the real life.
Or college homecoming.
Or college. Yep. Or college.
Yeah, it's over. Wait till your 10-year reunion in high school. That's about it.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't go to mine.
Mine's next year. Okay.
I graduated 06. Mine was 4 years ago.
Thoughts on Daniel Jones? The Giants are. I think what's the word with the Giants? I love Joe Judge being on Twitter being hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Of him being on the slip and slide. I thought that was pretty much hilarious. How he's making his coaches run and everything. I just think it's a bad roster. I think Gettleman's going to get fired. So
I think he should have been fired. The thing about Daniel Jones is he could be a very productive QB if he doesn't turn over the football. The problem is I don't see his fumbles getting fixed. Just like Carson Wentz has fumbling issues. I don't see his fumbling issues getting fixed, and he's not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to make of him yet. I mean, he looked decent as a rookie, I guess, but I don't know what to make of him yet.
I don't know what to make of Daniel Jones yet, but I do think he's better than people realize because you got to take a look at his offensive weapons. He didn't have Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate, and Saquon Barkley all on the field at the same exact time. Same thing we talk about with Carson Wentz and his weapons not being available. Daniel Jones didn't have his weapons available either. Go ahead, Trevor. I know you want to come and say something. So
he had Saquon. He had Saquon the whole year. You had Saquon the whole. What games did he miss? Because I don't watch Giant games.
He missed like 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, he did.
I'm in New York where I have to literally do my homework on the New York Giants, Jets, and Bills. I will tell you straight up, he may have had one game with all of his weapons. Evan Ingram's been out with his concussions or whatever the hell he's been dealing with. Sterling Shepard's been in and out of the lineup. And then, of course, you had Golden Tate, who had the 4-game suspension to start the season. So he did not have his weapons for more than one game. I guarantee you that.
So he pretty much had Darius Slayton, whoever the second string running back is. So he's had one weapon the whole time.
Yeah. Saquon Barkley coming back with the hamstring injury. I don't care what he says. You could see the difference in his cuts. I actually do watch Giants games because of the market that I'm in. He did not have that same cut. He did not have that same movement after his injury. Is that something that's going to leak into the future? We'll see. Off season, obviously, he was able to get better. Let's see if he's fully healthy and we get back to that Saquon of his rookie year or the Saquon we saw towards the end of the year for those of us that watch Giants games.
Which I'm not going to waste my time for anyway. So
obviously, you don't have to. I have to. So.
I know that, but here's my thing. I think the Giants are going to be the bottom division next to the Redskins, anyways.
Yeah, of course.
They're going to be 5-11.
I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to argue that.
And the Redskins, I think they're going to go 4-12 at least.
I'm just saying he did not have all his weapons. Even Saquon Barkley missed a handful of games, and when he did come back, he was not healthy with the hamstring injury.
So with the with no preseason. Do we see how many games we think Saquon's going to miss at least?
This is going to be a big season for soft tissue injury all around the league, especially without the preseason. I know players don't really necessarily like playing in the preseason, but even getting into 2 quarters of a game where you mostly see in preseason 3, that helps you get acclimated to getting hit over and over and over again. That's going to be the biggest part is, are we going to see ACL tears? Are we going to see Achilles tears? Are we going to see those soft tissue injuries where they need to be massaged out and they could either linger or they could be all set in the same game? Those are the things that we're going to have to worry about throughout the NFL, not just the Philadelphia Eagles.
I've been watching like for fantasy reasons, trying to figure out who is injured, who's not. David Montgomery, he's got a groin injury currently. Lamar Jackson, groin injury as well. You're going
to see a lot of that.
So, it's going to be like hamstrings, groins, ACLs, maybe. I mean, I'll give you the over under if we have to do one. I'm gonna say is at 5.
Okay.
Nodak Inja is asking, how did the Eagles get better this offseason? They got better by getting healthy, if that makes any sense. That's how they got better. You know, they didn't really add anybody really that great.
Javon Hargrave, that's really it.
They added Slay, but they needed to add Slay. You know, our secondary was really on the brinks of being one of the worst in the league, so we needed to add him.
I know this. I know Dak's a Cowboy. Ninja's a Cowboy fan.
Mm-hmm.
So you're expecting the Cowboys to win the division, right? That really doesn't much happen that much for first-year QB, like head coaches in a new system. And plus, Jerry Jones is known to like, how do I like to say, like be in control of everything. Am I right, guys?
Yep.
Like how
Playing you like a fiddle.
Yeah, he's playing like a fiddle, like a toy, like that. How are we? Are we getting the Mike McCarthy who was the coordinator in San Francisco and New Orleans, or are we getting the one who just coached Aaron Rodgers the whole time? Because we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Am I right?
I agree 100%. And that brings me to a point which I think you guys can agree with. Doug Peterson being the only returning coach in the NFC East. Is it title or bust, NFC East title or bust for this? Because you have 3 other head coaches that are coming brand new on the system, 2 of them that have second-year quarterbacks, and one of them, Mike McCarthy's been out of the game for, a year or 2, that needs to get acclimated and see what he can bring to Dak Prescott being mediocre.
Well, no, I mean, I'll answer this first. I'm sorry, Trevor. To answer you on this one, I don't think Doug Peterson would go anywhere even if we won 4 games this year. I think Doug Peterson has a 2-year window to get acclimated to what has happened these last 2 years. And I think next year would be the season with the fans in the stands to where if he didn't get his act together, we would see him on the hot seat. And the fact that he has no offensive coordinator this year, he's basically both jobs. I feel like this really gives him a little bit of wiggle room. So we'll really see what kind of coach he is. And, I'm
not necessarily saying it like he'd get fired if he didn't win the title. As a fan perspective, is it NFC East title or bust for us fans to expect that?
No, because to me, I'm a really realistic fan. I'm not expecting much this year, because I see the injuries.
Didn't you say they were going to win 12 games?
I did, but that's before they got all injured. They look great on paper when they weren't injured. Look at our injuries, dude. The fucking gods hate us. They hate us.
I would like to say this personally. Chip Kelly, I don't know what doctors he had. Can we hire those doctors? Because they know how to actually take care of a team.
No. It wasn't the doctors. It was the smooth.
The health shakes.
Yeah.
Where are those right now? The health shakes, the smoothies, the music loud at practice, and doctors. I'll take those right now personally.
Techno music.
Yeah, what's wrong with some EDM music? That's what the kids are going for these days.
Are they?
Yeah. If you're not listening to crappy rap anyway, so.
All right, little peep, chill out over there.
Thoughts on letting Jenks go? I feel like we kind of had to move on because he's getting older. He wanted a new contract with us, and he's not someone that, it is a business at the end of the day. He did help us win our first Super Bowl in franchise history, which I'll be forever grateful for, but it is a business. You have to get a little bit younger at that position, and I was okay with it. And he went to a team where he started off at, so it's not like he went to a completely new team. I'm okay with it. He brought us the Super Bowl, and I'll be forever grateful for him. To be honest,
I'm glad I love what he did for Super Bowl and stuff and all off field stuff. I just got sick and tired of him being in the media all the time, and now he's trying to be an activist on CNN and on Twitter. So I'm kind of glad I don't have that headache anymore. I can make fun of Saints fans now. Have fun with your political activists.
I feel like Carson isn't meant to succeed in Philly. I hate to say it, but I fear it's true. And he's an Eagles fan. The thing about Carson was he had his time to succeed in Philadelphia. In 2017, he took the league by the balls. Everyone bought his jersey. He was top 5 in Eagles jersey sales. And ever since then, I hate to say it, but he's kind of played like a little bitch. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Is he being coddled like crazy?
Maybe a little bit.
I mean, like if you put him in the Philadelphia sports coddling ranks, is he number one?
By the fans, yes. By the team, no. I feel like the team is putting him out there to dry.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
So
you can tell in the play calling, it's completely different from when Nick Foles was underneath center to what Carson Wentz is. It's like Carson Wentz has all this talent. Okay, we're just going to put it on his arm. Go out and win the friggin' game for us.
Yeah.
And I wish we had a more balanced offense. And that's one of the things that I hope to see with Miles Sanders being that lead back, that hopefully we get a more balanced offense and don't necessarily stray from the running game, even if it's not working in the first 5 to 10 rushes, because just that illusion of running the ball can open up the field for you.
Well, they tried to run the RPOs with Carson Wentz and it didn't work. So I mean, you're gonna have to really expand the playbook for him because he's an expert at the offense, whatever the hell that means. But no, all you gotta do, it doesn't take simple math. You gotta roll the guy out consistently. That's what you got to do because he's very good. Yeah, he's very good. What? Yeah, what's up?
So if the Eagles don't win the division or what's so are we gonna find a new offensive coordinator if Doug Peterson's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna is Doug Peterson gonna bring someone in like a Matt Nagy in case he gets fired by Chicago to run the offense for the Eagles?
I'm kind of hoping that the Indianapolis Colts have a shit year, so they fire Reich and he comes back.
That ain't happening, my brother. But like, do we see like I'm not trying to be a dab me downer. I know it's week 0, but like
week 0.
Can we say like if the Eagles offense stinks again and Doug Peterson was the offensive coordinator, would Jeffrey Lurie or Howie Roseman be like, you're not longer being the offensive coordinator and head coach, you're head coach only, finding a real offensive coordinator?
Well, I don't think Howie Roseman would be here anymore, so I think it'd be someone else saying that. Howie Roseman, if you want to go,
where's he on the hot street? Where is he on the hot street for you right now?
Oh, he's hot. His seat is on fire right now.
Is it like Andy Reid, like after week 1, 2012 style?
No, it's Andy Reid after eating the 2 cheesesteaks, like running. That's kind of.
So we're going. I'm sorry, we're going 2012 version. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, this seat is very hot. Even if we win the NFC East and we go to the playoffs and lose the first game, I feel like he's out.
I think Doug Peterson's trying to reenact that 2017 year where he had so many voices in one room that really helped come up with the game plan, and he's listening to different voices. Because how many offensive coordinators / offensive minds do we have in one room? Is that going to be too much? Is that going to be too much on Doug Peterson's shoulders? And if it is, obviously next year we're going to have to hire a definite offensive coordinator. But I think this year he's trying to recreate that magic from 2017 where he has multiple different voices and the analytics of the offensive minds trying to figure out what to do and what to blossom this offense with the play calling.
Would you also say he needs a real like alpha in the offensive coordinator's room? Like, not
100%.
Not a freaking beta in there, because I just don't think the quarterback coach or the current offensive coordinator before, or
like what Frank Reich brought to this offense, where he was the main voice, where there was multiple people talking, but Frank Reich was the main voice in that offensive system. That's what he needs going forward, because I do like the set of offensive minds in our locker room, but it's just, is it going to be too much? Who's going to get the ultimate voice? Does Doug Peterson get that ultimate voice? Is he going to use it properly? So there's a lot to figure out offensively, because Carson Wentz has the talent. We do have speedsters around him. Are we going to use them properly? Like I've said from the beginning of this podcast, get the ball in playmakers' hands and let them play.
Well, Trevor's buddy old pal's back, Marty Warneweg, so we'll see what happens there.
Hey, let's be honest here. He was part of the blueprint for Lamar Jackson, so maybe he could bring that sprinkle in, but I personally doubt it. So that's just my biggest thing with the offense.
I mean, you say he was the blueprint. I say that Lamar Jackson did everything on his own. I mean,
you can say that. I'll let you have that take. I just personally think like Marty Morningway just brought the plans out, you know. So
I mean, he's only have the same offensive coordinator in Baltimore that Michael Vick had going through Atlanta. So, you know, there is that connection where he's still in Baltimore, and that's exactly why the Eagles wanted to grab some Baltimore offensive minds and bring them to Philadelphia for that reason. Lamar Jackson's talented as hell, but without a system, without a game plan, without getting Hollywood Brown and Mark Ingram and all these other pieces around you, Lamar Jackson wouldn't have had an MVP type of year just based off his talent.
Right.
Facts.
All right, guys. Good show. Great opening
High
pod.
energy. I love it. We're ready for week 1. Let's go.
We are ready for week 1. If you guys enjoyed this episode of the Fly Like an Eagle podcast, you could re-listen to it on Spotify right after this is done, or you could go back to Facebook, YouTube, or I think Twitch. Thank you so much. Twitter. Follow our handle, Eagle_pod. Those are for our Twitter takes that you may or may not enjoy. Who knows? I don't really care. I'm going to type what I want. You're going to listen. No, I'm just kidding. And yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoy this throughout the season. We're going to get our phone lines fixed so you guys can call in, because we want to be interactive with you guys. We don't just want to do the live chat. That's not what we're about, especially after Eagles losses, wins. We want to hear you guys. We want you to vent your frustrations and what you feel about this team. So that's something we're going to get fixed. But for me, Zach, and Trevor, we are out of here. Anything else you guys would like to say?
Stay happy. Stay healthy.
Enjoy your weekend. Go to the beach.
All right. Go Birds.